Hello, and welcome to episode 65 of Let's Talk Immigration. Whether you're viewing right now or you're viewing later, I appreciate you tuning in, okay? If you have questions, drop them in the comments. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, they show up here. Telegram, I think we find them and put them up there, so we'll get your questions. Actually, I see I have a question waiting in the queue. Mohammed says, hi, Curtis. Any news about 2020 Gomez? No, we do not have news on Good Luck or Gomez. Still waiting on the outcome of the appeal. Okay. Couple things I wanted to talk about. What I'm reading. Okay. There was an article published by a former consular officer who I have a lot of respect for. He's an immigration attorney now. Christopher Richardson. Okay. It's called Designed to be Racist. The Supreme Court will consider the dark side of our immigrant visa system. He's basically talking about the upcoming case that the Supreme Court is hearing on the what's the name of this decision? Let me see here. Munez, State Department versus Munez. And it's really about consular non-reviewability. You know, consular officers make decisions and the State Department says, we don't care if the decision is right or wrong. We shouldn't have to go to court about the decision. Well, Mr. Munez and his attorney are arguing that that's not right. What's cool about Christopher Richardson's article here is he goes back to how our current immigration system got where it is, starting back in 1920s, and kind of the racist origins. I mean, they're really gross racist origins. And a lot of people don't know that immigration policy in the U.S. has roots in some really dark racism. Here, I'll share it in the comment section over here. So I recommend that article. I've tweeted out a link to it also, so you could retweet it. Second thing I want to talk about is I want to celebrate that a diversity visa selectee who entered the United States has done some remarkable good and should get acknowledged. Cloud security engineer Zinat Kamal has launched a children's book promoting online safety. She did this, I think, after her eldest son was hacked, maybe? I'm trying to remember. But they moved from Ethiopia after winning the DV lottery in 2013. And she's a computer science professor. And I thought that was really cool that she's wrote a book that says, oh no, hacked again, about how kids should be safe on the internet. So it's awesome to see diversity visa selectees come into the U.S. and have success and make the world better. I was happy to read that article. Also tweeted it out, and also found her on Twitter and retweeted her, so you could follow her as well. Okay, let's see what questions we have that have come up over here. Sam says, hi, Curtis, I have a question. My wife's interview was scheduled in Islamabad Embassy 5 days ago. Congratulations. And the case is at the ready stage. Okay, it's talking about the SEAC status. I need to upload new tax returns, but I want to make sure the DQ date is not reset. Sam, DQ date is only relevant in the scheduling of interview. Once the interview is scheduled, the DQ date is no longer relevant. So do not worry about that. Upload the tax returns. Also send them with her to go to the interview. It's not a problem. You have nothing to worry about the DQ date. The DQ date is not relevant after the interview has been scheduled. Okay. Yusuf asked, hello, best lawyer in the world. Yusuf is a very perceptive person, right? Just kidding. Any update for Good Luck, or should we wait for Trump to be elected? Okay, these two things are not related. I do not have an update for good luck. You ask if you should wait for Trump to be elected. I don't know what the other option is. What is the other option? When you ask me if I should do this, it's like, should I do this or that? What's that here? Okay, I mean, if I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question. Okay. Daymain says, anything new for DV 2020 and 2021 good luck plaintiffs? Okay, I've got this question twice now. This is the third time. No, we do not have an update on that. Still waiting on the outcome of the appeal. Okay. And Yusuf says, because Biden is not doing well with the DV selectees. Well, that's actually not accurate. And the reason I say that is because in DV, for fiscal year 2022 and fiscal year 2023, the Biden administration issued more diversity visas than allotted by Congress. Like Congress only allots 55,000, and they went over 55,000 for each of those years. Now, granted, it was probably because of our lawsuits, and they want to impress the judges on how devoted they are to issuing DVs. But the Biden administration kind of has two faces when it comes to DV selectees, right? They did a great job for 2022 and 2023, with the caveat at the end of 2023, they really messed up scheduling and gave a lot of people false hope. And with both years, they overselected too many selectees and gave a lot of false hope, and that wasn't necessary. But let's go back. 2020, 2021 selectees, and the few 2017 selectees that are plaintiffs in Omicron. The Biden administration has done you wrong. I agree. But that does not mean that Trump will be better. Okay. Okay. Question from Instagram. Wow. Hi, I'm a DV 2022 selectee from Morocco, but I have not received the interview letter. Do I still have a chance? The answer is no. For two reasons. One, DV 2022 ended on September 30th, 2022 at midnight. The second reason is they used all the visas anyway. They only had 55,000 visas. There were not any unused visas. They used them all. So for two reasons, you do not have a chance with that path. Hopefully you will be lucky and win for DV 2025, which we will find out the results in May. Hopefully you entered. Okay, so I've gone through all the questions. I'm looking for more questions. I'm excited to get your questions. And actually, I would be excited to have a guest if somebody wants to ask their question in person. I'm sharing the link in the thing. It says StreamYard. So if you click on that link, you'll go backstage, and I know you're there, and we'll pop you into the show, and you can ask your question in person. You have to be wearing clothes to do this, okay? Very important rule. Okay. Next question. Can I sue the U.S. Embassy if they deny my son CRIBA application, even though I met all the requirements? Well, this goes back to this thing I was talking about at the beginning of the show before many of you joined. The doctrine of consular non-reviewability gives consular officers a lot of discretion to make decisions. But when it's involving a U.S. citizen, family of U.S. citizens, that's kind of the issue that's going before the Supreme Court. I will say this. A lot of people think they meet the requirements for CRIBA, and they don't, because the physical presence requirement after a green card holder naturalizes, a lot of people just skip that requirement and don't realize how important it is. So it's very important that you, as a green card holder, have physical presence in the United States before you try to do that CRIBA, right? You have the right amount. It's a math problem, really. If the consular officer's made a mistake on that math problem, the first step I would say would be to ask for reconsideration. Have your attorney email the consular officer and say, reconsider because this is the mistake you made. Second would be to send an inquiry to LegalNet. That's an email address that attorneys use to have the attorneys at the State Department to review decisions where we think that they made a mistake in law. And then the third option is you could try to sue. Just understand the odds are rough. Like it may be a difficult case because of this doctrine of consular non-reviewability, where courts defer discretion to decisions by consular officers, which is very different from a mandamus lawsuit. Mandamus lawsuit is consular officer has not made a decision. That's the problem. But once the consular officer has made a decision, that decision is a lot of times protected under that doctrine. But if you are not represented by an attorney at this time, with that situation, I would strongly recommend you consult with an attorney, not just a YouTube attorney like me. Or although, I mean, you can message me. What's that? Telegram? Call me. I will walk you through it. Okay, so nobody's joined backstage yet. Doesn't somebody want to share, be here and ask a question in person? That'd be so much fun. Okay, Dameen says, "Hello, sir. Could office do anything for the DV20 in 2021, or the only way is to wait?" The only way is to wait. Okay. If we want relief from the courts, we have to respect the rules of the courts. And it is clear in the courts, the way it works is when an appeal is submitted, the plaintiffs and the defendants all have to wait and be patient until the Circuit Court of Appeals gives their opinion. Okay. It's funny how like a lot of people want relief from the courts, but they don't want to play by the court's rules. That's not how it works. If you're going to go to court, you got to play by the court's rules. Court's rules, be patient. Okay. I'm out of questions. I need more questions. Here's one from Instagram. Hi. If I have a visitor visa, can I apply for status adjustment in your office? How much does it take? Cost? And how much time? Thank you. Thank you for asking this question, but I need to make you aware not to ask this question again, okay? And here's why. A visitor visa gives you the ability to travel from wherever you are to the United States, but not to enter the U.S. For you to be able to enter the U.S., the Custom and Border Patrol officer needs to assess whether or not you're eligible for entry on a non-immigrant visa. One of the factors that they will take into account, the criteria, is that you do not have immigrant intent. To be clear, someone asking this question while they're outside the United States, the Custom Border Patrol, which is under the Department of Homeland Security, part of U.S. government, could misunderstand this question to mean that you have immigrant intent, and that would sabotage your ability to even visit the United States. So I do not like to receive this question from people that are outside the United States. Okay. Now, if you are inside the United States and you are eligible to adjust status because of your either you're a diversity visa selectee whose case number is current in the visa bulletin, or you are a spouse or parent or minor child of a U.S. citizen, so where you're an IR category and you're inside the United States, then we can talk about adjusting status. But it's not a conversation that you want to be having when you're outside the United States. Okay. Okay. Arnaud says, congratulations to be admitted on the Southern Texas court, is what he's talking about. That's true. I have been admitted to another court. That means now I am admitted to the 4 districts in California: Eastern, Southern, Central, Northern, and the Western District of Wisconsin, the Western District, Texas, Colorado, Washington, D.C., and now the Southern District of Texas. I try to get admitted to a court every couple months. The goal is to get admitted to many of them, right? So I will be filing more lawsuits. I just filed one actually yesterday in Houston in the Southern District of Texas. I want to file more there. Okay, I'll get a cowboy hat if y'all keep hiring me to work in Texas. Nobody's laughing. That's why I want a guest. I'm going to share this invite link again. If anybody wants to come on as a guest, you're welcome to. I need more questions. Before I started, Gomez said I should say something about Mayorkas being impeached. This is true. The Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, who we sue a lot, Alejandros Mayorkas. I'm not saying his name right. My head's not working right. Anyway, the House voted and impeached him, but that does not mean he's gone. That just means one branch of government thinks he's doing a bad job. Now it goes to the Senate to try that impeachment, like a trial, except the votes aren't there. So it's a waste of time. The House should have never wasted time with this, really. So this is just going to be a footnote on his Wikipedia page. It's not going to have any effect in law. Mayorkas will continue being the Secretary of Homeland Security. So pretty crazy how Republicans waste time. Looks like I don't have any more questions. So I'm going to wrap up early today. A 20-minute show. That's okay for me. I know what's going on. It's Valentine's Day, and you all are all lovers, right? And you're out buying chocolate candies and flowers for your loved ones. That's so sweet. I'm proud of you. I will see you next week for episode 66. Until then, be safe.